Pleasant good morning, pleasant good Monday morning to all students of Speaking Out, Exposing Corruption and Incompetence. Welcome, welcome. Today, Monday, the third day of February. Yes, we are in the month of February. January has gone by. So we are now in the month of February. Welcome to the month of February. Welcome. This is the month of a lot of things. Matrimony, Valentine, all of that. Yeah, so welcome, welcome, welcome. Share the live. You know the thing, once you come on, you must share the live. Let people know that we are. Most of you, the regulars, are going to be here. But some people, from time to time, they tend to forget. You know, they are caught up with other stuff and they're going to forget. So share the live and give us our thumbs up. Show your appreciation. Show your appreciation. We have already over 300 students in the classroom. Well, 11 thumbs up. Oh, man, not good enough. Not good enough. This program was scheduled at 7 this morning, precisely at 7. And in the schoolyard, several students were there to get into the schoolyard. We're going to do a roll call in a short while. But today, Monday, the third day of February 2025, another great day that the Lord has made. Let's rejoice and be glad in it. Let's give praise and thanks for being in the land of the living. Many people would not have been this fortunate. So you must always give praise and thanks. Don't take it for granted that you wake up, see a new day dawn, you have something to eat. I'm sure most of us had something to eat. And therefore, here we are in the classroom. Some of you are in the schoolyard, in the classroom, ready to get credible, valuable information. And we're not going to disappoint you. I don't think we have disappointed so far, and we're not going to disappoint you today because we have lots and lots of stuff to tell you. But share the live, and let them know that we are on. My colleague, Mr. Conway, CC, as he's called, is already in the studio, waiting patiently to bring you credible, valuable information. So share the live, and let them know that we are on. Now, as I've said, another great day that the Lord has made. Let's rejoice, let's be glad in it, and let's celebrate being in the land of the living. The usual format, we're going to do the roll call. We have lots of students in this morning, lots and lots of students who are in the schoolyard. And when the program went live a few minutes ago, or when the school door was open or the doors were open, students rushing in. You know, and everywhere you go, everywhere I go, Mr. Conway has said the same thing. People meeting us, people thanking us for bringing this credible, valuable information to them. Never realized that we have so many students. People meeting you, I'm a student, I don't miss. If for some chance I miss the live, I make sure that I watch it on YouTube. That is what we're going to continue to bring the information to you. We're going to continue to bring credible, valuable information. We're going to continue to analyze. We're going to do our statement analysis. When they come with those nonsensical statements, we are going to go through it and read through the lines and tell you exactly what you need to know. So yes, here we are this great day. Let me roll call, as I said, 7 o'clock sharp. It was scheduled and several students jump in the yard, led by the man from the hills, Barled. Then it was Peter, Kenneth, and Kenneth is out of Maryland. Then Carlton, my squad mate, 9430, out of New York. Floyd is here with us. All these people came in at 7. Tom Cat is here. Leon, Tessa I from Florida. Then Aubrey from Canada. Danny is here, 9731. Daniels, Puran, the man from Essequibo Coast. They all came in at 7 sharp. And then 7:01 and going down, we had Quote Me. Then it was Marva. Brennan, you're in early. Vibert, 9066 Lawson. Then we have Albert, 0892 Albert. Marcia, Roxanne, Rawl, 11752. I love when new students who are former members of the force and the National Service and these people put up your number. Let's know what your numbers were, man. Brian is here. Earl, Evelyn, Barbara, Marlon is here. Clifton. Hey, Clifton, the pastor, you got it wrong this morning. You make a mistake, Pastor. 9333. That was not your number. Your number was 9339. If I remember correctly, 9333 was Sir Tima. West Man, Sortimer. I think I get that right. Then Sean is here with us. Essie, Diane, Gaston, my squad mate, 9556. Joan from New Amsterdam. Dexter is here. Then it was Winston from California. John, Denise, the secretary, is here. Wayne, you say number 15734. Michael Lima from Mbaima Dai. Ella is here with us. Jaco from Florida, from Georgia, sorry, is here. Then it was Aubrey, Hazel, Walterine, Kevin, 12729. Adonis is here. Anthony came in with us. Marcus, Anthony, another Anthony Bradshaw, 11032, I think is regulation number was. Maury, I can't remember yours off the top, is here. Sandra, Trotty, Compton, Mary, Pauline, Francis Keith, Rhonda, then I'm still in the house. Ian, Lucius is here with us. Lester was what? 11789 or something like that. I can't remember. 12789. I get a little foggy at this stage. Carl is here. Carlisle, Patricia, Karen, Troy, Nigel, Ronald, Salima. So she was 17488. Clifton Stewart all the way from Paris. Then it was Cecile, Malcolm. After Malcolm is Pinky. Paul from Canada. Charlene, 15425. Patricia is here. Carl, 9414, my squad mate. He from Arizona. Patricia, Sheena, Diane, Orin, Bert, Hazel, Russ, Ricardo is with us. Simo, 0539, I think it was. Yeah, Simo. Ovid is here. He said he was 0937. Lyndon from the British Virgin Islands is here. Umi is with us. Felicia, Kerry, you're there long. Oh, Kerry, back in Baltimore. Welcome back, my brother. Welcome back to the U.S. and the cold. Fergus, BV Man, Ezekiah is here with us. Pamela from West Dem, Emerson, Bandela Gandhi, Marcus, Maureen, Queenie is here. Michael Bravo, 14126. He is in the British Virgin Islands. Aral, Siobhan, Brenda, Anne, Glendis. Then it was 6127, Princess Earl. Desiree is here from Georgia. Anne, Lorraine, Henrik, Tuana, Clarence, Jakey is here. Magnell, Kevin, Cranston, Vernon, Patricia, next Patricia Forbes, Sandrine Beard, Audrey is here. Vibert, Smithy is here with us. Colin Stanford, Nigel, then it was Grantley, 9407 BX, my squad mate is here. Roderick, Pito, 8152. Then we have George, 8727. And it was Andre, Winslow. You see the number? Original Black Man, Valerie, Ulrich, 8385, Atkinson, West Dem Man is here. Sean, David, Selwyn, Kurt, Joy, Doreen, W349, Royston, Colin is a 6984, Clay, Ivor from the National Service, Dorette, Daniel, Abera, Clay, Charles, Joseph, Marlon, then it was Moses, Wayne from the UK is here, Trevor, Paulette, the angel is with us, Everett from Texas, Monica, Stefan, he says his number was 12443. Then he asks a question there. We're gonna answer all of those things as we go along in the program. Paul, Annette, Rayburn is here. Barbara, Glendon. Well, Glendon is Leach, 9760. Crawford is here. R. Crawford, 11256. Jason, Mali, Gordon, Verlin, Diane, Kwame, and well, Kwame said he's Kwame in his 14862. Then it was John, my friend. Denise, she is still in GT. Roxanne, Mark, David, Donna, Lyndon, the African Queen. I miss you in class for a while, African Queen. David, Junior, Halwin, Northwest 9, Rastaman, Esla, Lyndon, Cornbread Johnson is here. Delan, Gail, and then it was Sherwin. And when the school door was open, you get beat to the punch this time, Edward. That you came in at the same time with Lennox. Lennox and Edward came in the same time. Simone, Gordon, and a lot of people came back. Abu from Essequibo Coast, Brandy, Mary, and the list goes on and on and on. So welcome you student to this Monday's episode. Let me go and we're gonna deal with some comments, and then let me take off this one that is on the screen. We're gonna make some announcements, and then we're gonna move on. First, we start sometimes with this sad announcement. I regret to announce the death of retired Assistant Superintendent Terence Allen. If you remember Terence, 8756, used to be stationed several places, Region 1, Mabaruma, Morawana, and then I remember him at the transport workshop at Eve Leary. So we understand that he passed recently at the West Demerara Regional Hospital after a brief period of illness. So I want to, on behalf of the students and on behalf of my co-host, to express condolences to the relatives, friends of the late Terence Allen, 8756. We're going to keep you updated with the arrangements as they are made known. And then, birthday greetings. We're going to the happier announcement. Today is the birth anniversary of I know many of you remember Colin Hilliman. We used to call him Trimble. He used to work at the construction section. He was a regular at TSU playing billiards and so on. And I don't know if you get the name Trimble, but Trimble, he was an umpire. If Aileen was here, she would have remembered him, I'm sure. He was a cricket umpire, and he was a lot of things. So happy birthday to you, Trimble. And then we had belated birthday going out to Woman Inspector Michelle Calder, also to retired Senior Superintendent Reeford Johnson. Jano had a birthday recently. Retired Woman Superintendent Yonette Stevens celebrated one recently too as well. Former member Lyndon Todd. Remember he was at the TSU Army 11644 Army there back in my day. Had an accident there. I had a similar accident, but escaped with less injuries than Lyndon. And then we also had a birthday recently too of a person who's on the live, I'm sure. Queenie White celebrated our birthday recently. So for all those who celebrated today, all those who celebrated recently, and those who are going to be celebrating in the next few days, happy birthday wishes to you. Before I bring in Mr. Conway, I want to also say happy retirement to Woman Deputy Superintendent Donna Ferguson. Donna retired on the 1st of February this year. I don't think she had pre-retirement leave, so she went straight into retirement. Donna, welcome to the retirement bench. I know in the latter years, you had a lot of trials and tribulation with CB 252. You had a lot of trials and tribulation, but you're out now, you have retired, you can sit back and watch. This retirement bench is always welcoming. And when you come on this bench, you don't get ranked. Whether you retired as a deputy superintendent, as a consul, assistant commissioner, whatever you retires, we respect you as an individual, as a human being. So welcome, Donna Ferguson, to the retirement bench. So let me give us a Conway, and then we are going to get onto it. Cece, welcome.
Good morning. Praise the Lord. We are all in the land of the living to do God's work. My sympathy to the relatives, family of that assistant superintendent who passed away. We worked together in the Northwest. I knew him well when he was a transport officer. And congratulations to Reeford, Yonette, Queenie, and happy retirement to Donna. Welcome, as Paul said, welcome to the bench. And I know that we have a very active day today in terms of the topics that we're going to discuss. So let's get on with it.
Yeah, we have a rollicking day. Let's get on with it. Now, what's the first thing I want to talk about? First thing, let me see. Oh, we got to talk about the cricket, Let's talk about cricket with the announcement. We got a lot of cricket fans. I hope you all looked at the game yesterday and saw that scintillating century by Abhishek or whatever his name, Indian opening batsman, 135, I think. If you maul England, man, they maul England. If they maul England. I was a little disappointed because I wanted England to give a better challenge, but they fizzled. They fizzled. They didn't make it. But it was a good match. At least looking at the Indians, but was a very good innings from them. And then, did you? I don't know if you all saw this um, Saturday night. Saturday night I looked out and I saw the moon, but just next to the moon there was this. I don't know if it was a star or a planet, but it was there, and I took a picture of it. And then shortly after, I saw Comes TV and all of those people started to show it, and people started to speculate as to what the smaller object next to the moon was, whether it was Jupiter, some people said Saturn, and all kind of things. Well, it was a unique feature as far as I know, because I just looked out by chance, and the sky was clear, and I saw it. And as we would normally do, I took out my phone and I took a picture, and I said, "Let me share it with you." So those of you who saw it live, like I did, I'm sure you would have been curious to know what it was. For those of you who did not, here we are, and I'm speaking out, showing you. This was Saturday night around. CC, did you? Let me bring in CC. CC, did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it, and I was, I was there, transfixed, looking at it. And then the next night when I saw it, was in a different position. It was different because right from my house there is just on the western side of my a building, like it was just next door. So
Yeah.
beautiful. God's work,
Right,
so
right,
beautiful.
right, right. Some people saying it was Venus. Well, I'm not an astronomer. So, and Dudley said he saw it in Jamaica. People in New York and all those places said, well, of course, it's the moon. I hear like a certain man. Let me get this joke before we move on. This is a joke. So don't take me wrong. A man went to a strange village, and well, the two men were arguing. They look up in the sky and they saw this thing. So they were debating whether it was the sun, whether it was the moon. So this other guy came around and they said, "Man, here, you come judge. Is that the sun or is that the moon?" And he said, "Boy, I know I live wrong here. So I know." He said, "You live around there. So you know whether it's the sun or the moon." So right. So that is what we saw Saturday night. Now let me move on. Um, there's an interesting development in Trinidad and Tobago that we need to tell you about. Trinidad and Tobago. Last week it was revealed, I think it was last week Wednesday, that the Commissioner of Police of Trinidad and Tobago was arrested. Commissioner of Police in Trinidad and Tobago was arrested by one of our deputies. And I think they said that it was something to do with the importation of 2 sniper rifles. She was arrested. This morning, it has been reported. Well, yesterday, we understand that having been arrested, she was released because the DPP said no charge. This morning, I saw very early when I got up, she is fired. She is fired. Let me read what the article says here from Ian Allen, who's a journalist in Trinidad and Tobago. He says, Orla fired by the Police Service Commission. She has 3.5 months left on her contract. The Police Service Commission has terminated the appointment of Commissioner of Police Orla Haywood Christopher with effect from Friday the 31st of January 2025. While Haywood Christopher was in police custody, she was ordered to cease function as a commissioner of police, according to correspondence sent to the Police Service Commission to the President. She was released pending further inquiries on Saturday, 4th of February 2025. DCP Junior Benjamin was nominated by the Police Service Commission to the President to act as Commissioner of Police, and his nomination will be debated by Parliament on Wednesday, 5th of February 2025. Assistant Commissioner of Police Kurt Simon was also nominated to act as Deputy Commissioner by the Police Service Commission. Haywood Christopher, an ex-Army Major, and SSA Director Robert Best are the subject of an investigation surrounding the procurement of 2 sniper rifles and accessories for the SSA. On May 15, 2023, after she turned 60, Cabinet gave Awood Christopher a one-year extension up to May 24, 2024 as Commissioner of Police. I suspect they mean May 25. Well, up to May 24. She had 3.5 months remaining on her contract. Something is not matching up there. Got to say, on May 15, she turned 60, and she was given a one-year extension up to May 2024. But then earlier they said that she had a few more months more. So something is not adding up there. The Police Service Commission, which is the only lawful entity vested with powers to appoint, discipline, and or revoke the appointment of a commissioner or deputy commissioner of police. That's the statement I made. Now, this commissioner of police is accused of importing some sniper rifle or being part of it, either approving it or something. She was arrested. I read something where it said misconduct in office. They had a press conference, I think it was Friday. And, significantly, you got to look at these things and learn. I hope these people, the squat and all these people look and learn. The people hosted a press conference. The deputy commissioner, or two deputy commissioners were there. The assistant commissioners, in a show of unity, they say. And the Trinidad Police Public Relations Officer was a female inspector. And the legal officer who was there, the police Trinidad and Tobago legal officer, was a corporal in the police, Trinidad and Tobago Police Force. A corporal in the Trinidad and Tobago Police Force. Now, we have a lot of people running around in this Guyana Police Force with big rank. And they can't face up to the media. They can't say they're hosting any press conference of that nature and all this everything. Cheese to chat. It's professionalism. But we don't have that in the main in Guyana. Yes, there are a few people who are highly professional. I have always said that. But when you look at it, and the old story is, somebody's telling me the extension was to be 2025, right? I know there had to be a mistake made there. But let me say this. They say here in this article, she turned 60 in 2023. In Trinidad and Tobago, they have a different arrangement. 60, you should come off, the extension, right? In their case, the Police Service Commission deals with this thing to the president. We have a different arrangement. This appointment of a replacement to act will be debated in Parliament. We ain't get them thing. We don't have them transparency here. We don't have them transparency. We have a situation where a man who passed the retirement age, and this is not an argument as to whether 55 is too young. It's an argument that is the retirement age. A man who passed the retirement age, he was not the commissioner at the time, and then the promotee, in light of all the allegations that were leveled against him, including one that he admitted that he took $8.5 million from a businessman to finance Brutus' wedding. Misconduct in public office. And instead of being sent home, he was promoted. This officer, this commissioner from Trinidad, misconduct in public office, arrested and subsequently dismissed by the Police Service Commission. So you got to understand where we are. And let me say this. We have said it before, let me repeat. In Guyana, the things that, history has not been nice to those commissioners who were extended beyond the mandatory retirement age. I remember it started with Balam Ragabir. He left with some amount of disgrace. Larry Lewis took over from him. He was forced out when he reached the age 60. Then he handed over to McDonald. Floyd McDonald became, as CC would say, the deadliest commissioner in the force. During his tenure, 20-something policemen were killed while on duty, executed. Then McDonald handed over to Green. They extend Green. Green had to run. Rape allegations against him. Green handed over to Brummel, based on after the allegation. Brummel, a certain man, or some men I know, they went to the then president with a dossier, a file on Brummel, alleged making certain allegations, and he was sent packing as well. Now, the next extension we are is the squatter. Let me see how he is going to fare. Let's see how he is going to fare. We got to look at these things. Just right across in neighboring Trinidad, look how they're dealing with an allegation against a commissioner of police. Look how they're dealing with an allegation of the commissioner of police. I don't think we are appraised of all the facts. But what they're saying that she and some other senior officers were accused of importing or sanctioning the importation of two sniper rifles. And of that, because of that, she was arrested, then kept in custody. And overnight, she's dismissed from the force. She's dismissed from the force, right? Yes, Sean, Felix, they didn't allow Felix, there was no extension. Those people that I called were the only ones who were extended. Only ones. Felix was never extended. A matter of fact, they're trying to give Felix trouble. Wicked set of people. Let me bring him Mr. Conway. Conway, you see how they deal with commissioners in Trinidad and Tobago when allegations are made? What is your take on that?
Well, I paid a lot of interest into the situation in Trinidad, although I don't have all the facts. But I understand as part of procurement of two high-power rifle and accessories. But the fact is that as the commissioner was arrested, and then when you look at again the situation in relation to the procurement of two firearms, and then when you look at again the situation, numerous reports, allegations about firearms. You pay $1.5 million, you get your firearm. You hearing about firearms, license being issued, Chief Chandrapal Drive, Young Street, a doctor in Lamar Street, a building northwest of the Breakdown Police Station, and a house in Robb Street. All those things about firearm, no investigation being done, and nothing being done. And look, Trinidad, just to wipe our rifle, just to wipe our rifle, and out goes the commissioner. And I listened to the police, the police corporal song, very good, very sound, in the presentation there. So history got a way of repeating itself, And what happened in Trinidad could very well happen in Guyana. History has a way of repeating itself, and they should take note how the Trinidad people handled the situation. Whether they were right or wrong, they really handled it very well. We were a commissioner of police under investigation, caution, placed on arrest, and later, according to the reports, dismissed. But Guyana, we don't know. Maybe things might change. Maybe history might repeat itself. And as you rightly said, all those who were extended end up in worries. All those who were extended end up in worries. And I always remember my friend Leroy Bramel. Ramatar Telly, President Ramatar, hey, Bramel are going to extend you an extension. And then Ramatar sent for them based on reports that some known persons, we know them, the files that they took to Ramatar. And the Bramel say, hurry up. Because the man say, you want to talk about the extension, and things go there. And the man start watching in the roof. Commissioner, I tell you I'm going to extend you. He said, yes, come President. Before the month is over, I know how to seal Al Prasad. See, you want to know what the man saying? And the man is saying anything else. He saluted and walk out. And when he reached the door and he watched back, there's it. The president still looking at the roof there, for Bromella to go along his way before the end of the month. So all who extended had issues, and the squatter bets, the confirmed squatter bet look out, because it might not end up well.
Yeah, thank you for that. And one of the students, Winston, is saying that she has been suspended, not dismissed. Well, the article that I'm reading is from Ian Alling of Trinidad. He's always on the crime beat and so on. And I have a contact in Trinidad that is saying that she has been terminated. Ian Allen is saying, the headline says, Orla fired by the Police Service Commission. She has 3.5 months left on her contract. And then they go on to say the Police Service Commission has terminated the appointment of Commissioner of Police Orla Awood Christopher. So we're going to get it through as to whether she is fired or whether she is suspended. But my information is that she has been terminated, fired from the post. With just about 3 or 4 months left on her contract, she has been fired. That is what I understand. So I'm going to follow it up. I know they have students here from Trinidad who are in the loop, so maybe they're going to let us know what is the exact position. Now, let me move on. Last week, there was this issue that we talk about where some men were fighting with the police, big wood and all them type of thing. And we made a comment, it was on Wednesday, that the police should do everything to identify and arrest those persons so they can feel the full brunt of the law. I am happy to report that over the weekend, the news said that 3 men were arrested. 3 of those persons, I know if only 3 were involved, but they said 3 were arrested. They were charged, among other things, for assaulting police officers and resisting arrest, and they have been remanded to prison by the magistrate. It's a West Coast Borbis matter. They were remanded. So yes, you have to treat with these people condignly. You can't get people fighting the police and all of that. Let me say this too to the police. You have got to make sure that you act professionally. If you're going to arrest, you have to have reasonable cause to arrest. Because if you don't have the justification for arrest and you're assaulted, then what's going to happen? You're going to go to court and they're going to say, well, you never had the assault, the arrest was unlawful, and therefore the fruit of the poison tree, anything that flows therefrom, you won't get your right. So make sure you do the right thing, the people who are listening. But I'm happy to hear that the people were arrested and they're remanded. Let me say this, because following the post on social media and so on, there is this thing, the thing who refers to him or is she, he, itself as a journalist, made a post that incident there justified the use of deadly force, that deadly force should have been used. Policemen, policewomen, don't take setup. Don't take setup. What I saw there, you cannot justify deadly force. So the policeman, even though one policeman I saw was armed with a semi-automatic rifle, he might have fired, understand, a few rounds in the air, but he did not shoot anyone. Because it would have been difficult to justify using deadly force at these people. Then somebody died, you might end up with a manslaughter or a murder charge. So don't jump wild and worry with stupid people who don't understand what's going on. They're going to argue, oh, deadly force should have been used. No, deadly force could not have been justified in those circumstances, even though the men were taking it wrong. Because remember the rules of when you may fire. I always taught policemen that when you got into a situation, run through them if you knew them, when you may fire. If you're attacked and you apprehend serious danger to your person and you are unable to defend yourself by any other means, that is what it said. If you're attacked and you apprehend, this is the main one. If you're attacked and you apprehend serious danger to your person and you are unable to defend yourself by any other means, then you may fire. Right? So I'm happy that this is going this way. Let's hope that they give the evidence and these people are convicted and sentenced to some time in prison. I see followed up on the commissioner, some out of 4 hours ago out of Trinidad too. They say police, Christopher, flanked by attorney and after she was released from custody at the Potomac. Winston, yeah, that thing there, I saw that too when she was released and she was flanked and she went into the car and drove away. But overnight, the story is that she has been fired. I saw what you're posting there too, that when she was released, and the article did say that the director of public prosecution of Trinidad and Tobago said that there was no case against her. But since then, since that release, I think she spent 2 or 3 days in custody. Since that release, the updated story that I got is that she has been fired. So we're going to see how it's going to unfold during the course of the day. Then with social media and the electronic media, we're going to get an update. So that is what it said. But I did see when she was released from the police station, flanked by her lawyers, and when she went into the car, and the car drove away. Now, Mr. Conway, see, the people who assaulted the police, arrested, charged, and remanded. Your take on that?
Well, I'm happy if the police story is justified. And what we saw there, it was
just take a pin. My source in Trinidad is telling me now, as we speak live, if you look at the comment, that my information is correct, is that she has since been dismissed. Yes, CC, sorry about that. Go ahead.
Well, look, it was total chaos at Bushlat West Coast Barbies. My sources who were there too, so it was total disregard for the police, you know. And I'm happy that the court is very stern in terms of taking action, remanding some people. I mean, sometimes the police isn't justifying certain action that they take, but as long as they justify and they person before the court, well, then the court has got to be very, very serious with them because we don't want the rule of law breakdown as it is there, you know. And that thing that said, but they should have used deadly force, you know. Something is wrong with that thing. Because here is what it's the thing say when you may fire. I'm reading it for Sada number 33 of 69. When you attack and you apprehend serious danger to your person and unable to defend yourself by any other means, when the property you are ordered to defend is attacked and you are unable to safeguard it by any other means, when attack is made to rescue persons in lawful custody, when anyone is found committing or about to commit any felony, burglary, shop breaking, store breaking, house breaking, or larceny, and do not desist after one and cannot be deterred or arrested by any means to prevent a police station or post from your own when so ordered by a superior in rank. And then we're talking about arrest. And let me give them the general powers of arrest. I need to repeat it again. When you can arrest, and it's section 16 of the Police Act, chapter 16, colon 01. It talks about powers to arrest without warrant. Let me read. It shall be lawful for any member of the force to arrest without warrant. A. Any person who commits in his view an offense punishable either upon indictment or upon summary conviction. Or B. Any person who may need a person charges with having committed a felony or misdemeanor. Or C. Any person who any person suspects of having committed a felony or misdemeanor or charges of having committed an offense punishable on summary conviction, if such person is willing to accompany a member of the force affecting the arrest to the police station and to enter into a recognizance to prosecute such charge, or any person whom such member of the force finds disturbing the public peace, or any person whom he has good cause to suspect of having committed or being about to commit any felony, misdemeanor, or breach of the peace, or any person he finds between the hours of 8 o'clock in the evening and 5 o'clock in the morning, lying or lurching in any highway, road, or other place, and not able to give a satisfactory account of himself. So you have to follow the law when you're going to make an arrest, and the law is very clear. And also in terms when you're going to fire, when you're going to use deadly force, the force order there, 33 of 69, is the guiding principle that tells you when you may fire. And anytime you fire, you have to rush into that that 33 of 69 and say, check and see if anyone covers you. If anyone doesn't cover you, well then sorry for you. Sorry for you.
Exactly. Well, you gotta be covered. So don't worry with people telling you shoot when it is not justified. At the end of the day, I used to always emphasize that when a policeman, even when I taught like some firearm when you shoot, you have got to justify the use of that firearm. You have got to justify it. Not the people around you who can egg you on. You have got to justify that you're covered by one of those rules. You have got to, so don't jump wild with people say deadly force. No, you don't use deadly force just like that. I know talking about that because we were saying too that one of the disadvantages that the members of the force face is that they are not being equipped with less than lethal weapon. So they go out, you go out with pistol, you go out with revolver, you go out with shotgun, you go out with assault rifle. That is what you have to resort to when you're confronted with a situation. And we have advocated for the longest while for policemen to be equipped with less than lethal weapon. Look at that case in Myconi, the recent shooting in Myconi. If they were equipped with less than lethal weapon, they might have been able to bring that situation under control without killing those two men. But all they had was pistol and revolver, and they decided they're going to shoot at these people and killed the man who was the range man. So he was mentally unstable. He was killed, and the man who was trying to subdue him The innocent man, I should say, who was trying to subdue him was also killed. Now I understand that over the week, the police have acquired tasers. Tasers. You know, taser is something that discharges an electric charge and immobilize any attacker or so on. I understand they acquire some. We're going to deal with that perhaps at the next program because I saw something, what they call a SOP. You know, we've been emphasizing that if you're going to use body cameras, you're going to use whatever you got to use. You have to have a proper standing operation procedure, which has to be taught, which has to be brought into standing order, published in force orders for the information and compliance of all the ranks. I understand they rushed ahead and they did a SOP for the use of taser. I have not gone through it in any great detail, but the little that I have seen tells me they don't know how to put together a SOP or a standing. They don't know. And therefore, I'm going to go through it over the next 24 hours or so. And hopefully when we come again on Wednesday, God's willing, we're going to be able to give them some guidance as to how an SOP should be prepared. But I understand, so they're listening. They account to the thing them are listening. They acquire taser. They acquire taser, which is a less than lethal weapon. I hope too they will now acquire pepper spray and other less than lethal weapons, so that when they are confronted, and it's for the safety of both the police and the people who are attempting to arrest. So if you're attempting to arrest a man, the man is violent and doesn't reach the threshold where you can justify the use of lethal force, then you can use the pepper spray. You can use the taser or any other less than lethal weapon to bring the situation under control. So I'm happy that they listen and happy that they acquire. And now it's to the training and to make sure that it is used properly. And that calls for proper training. It calls for proper training, not only in the physical use of the acquired instrument, less than lethal instrument, but also when it can be properly used, when it can be lawfully used. It's not a willy-nilly thing. That is where the training comes in. Let me bring in Mr. Conway to tell us something about this, what I just said.
Like you, I read it last night, and it's not really an SOP in the true sense of it. It's more technical than anything else. It's written by a technical man. We'd expected that a thing like taser, which could have, although it's less than lethal, it could have deadly consequences. We know person that using taser, but that's not the norm. But the SOP is not a SOP written by a technical man there. When one would expect that, hey, you're talking about taser and you're introducing taser, that at least the SOP would have come from a deputy commissioner, especially deputy commissioner operations. But no, they low grade it to a superintendent. Anyway, we going to talk more about it. And then I hear some Chinese taser they're bringing it to, which I understand aren't too effective.
Yeah, one of the students wants to know here, let me put it up, why we're giving the wicked PVP advice. We are giving PVP, educating. We are educating the populace, especially policemen and law-abiding citizens. We are passing on education. If perchance the PVP decide to implement as they have done in the past, well, then that is their story. But we don't believe that we should withhold certain things. We should not believe, because at the end of the day, when these things are used, it is used against innocent, in the main, a lot of innocent people and a certain type of people. So we have a responsibility, I think, to make sure that we pass on the knowledge and to teach and to educate. Now, talking about those men who are remanded, we reported last week too that a businessman from the Essequibo Coast assaulted a police officer. He did not turn up for his trial, and the magistrate conducted the trial ex parte, which means behind the back, in his absence, and he was sentenced to 1 month in prison. And we were informed that the CW, the commitment warrant, again, let me teach policemen, the corporate communication unit they'll tell you about sentencing warrant. There's nothing like a sentencing warrant. There is what you call a commitment warrant. So once you are sentenced by the magistrate, the magistrate has to make out a commitment warrant. That is the authority for the people of the prison to take you and keep you for whatever period. A commitment warrant. In this case of the executable businessman, we understand that the commitment warrant was never taken to the prison. When they subsequently arrested this man, he was taken to the Saudi hospital, where for all intent and purpose, he was to serve the time there. We spoke about it on Wednesday. I understand from the different sources that on Friday gone, they also and they carried to the prison. They took him to the prison to serve his time with instructions from a government official that he should be kept in some fancy place they get there. You know, not in the general population, as they will call it. But he was taken down, I understand, on Friday. The people, I will even understand, around a certain time, Friday in the afternoon. And it's following our announcement, our revelation that this man assaulted police, did not turn up in court. Magistrate conducted a trial behind his back, found him guilty, sentenced him to 1 month. Police went and arrested him, and I understand that they were instructed not to take the commitment warrant to the prison, not to take him to the prison, and therefore they took him to the Saudi hospital where he was admitted. When we talk about it Wednesday, like some people, well, they're listening all the time. We know that. They know that. And they caused a certain action to be taken, and the man was then taken hurriedly to the prison to serve his sentence. See, as I said, them a listen, man. Them a listen.
So true, you know. And after we spoke, they rushed with to use the commentary with breakneck speed and came there. But understand he's given special treatment, preferential treatment, five-star treatment. Remember, the allegations are that he's a support of the PPP, and when they go to a squibble, he allowed the normal courtesy to them there, So they're saying, hey, let him spend his time in the hospital. But if it's a commitment warrant, you gotta go to prison. When you go to prison, you can report sick, and let us send you to the hospital. And then when you come back, you say from get discharged, you still got to serve your time. So the jumbo body plays there.
Well, you're right. That's the normally thing. Because once you get a CW, you take him to the prison. If he wants sick, they tell the prison authorities that he's sick, and then they will take him. But police normally, once you get a CW, is straight to the prison and let the prison officers there deal with it, whether they're going to keep you there in the infirmary or whether they're going to take you to the public hospital. That is how it should be done. So we're happy to know that this man was eventually taken to the prison to serve his time. Again, the man assaulted police, I was found guilty of assaulting police. People expose the police, and because even the squatter and them don't talk out, the man is connected, you get political connection, so you can assault the police. I guess in some junior rank, you assault. And the problem is, man assault the police, let the police assault you back. Let the police retaliate. You're going to hear you get charged for assaulting this man, and also at the light next thing you last, he walk, and all that type of thing happen. But this thing is overbearing, and people, I'm happy with these two magistrates at least, who, in this case in Bobby's, remanded them. In the case in Executable Coast, the man was sentenced to a month. Should have get a longer time. Whatever was the maximum sentence, if it's 3 months, he should have get the maximum sentence. That is what you got to do to protect the people who are there to protect and serve us. Yeah, enough time they just do wrong things. But when they are in the right, the system has to support them. Can't get businessman or nobody beating up on police like that, especially policemen in uniform. They have no respect. Although I have said repeatedly, respect is something you have to earn. You have to earn respect. But that's what's going on in the place. Now let me move on. I read an article that bandit broke into a supermarket, Andrew supermarket, over the weekend. I read it. and they carted away money from too safe and all kind of thing. Now, I want to know how this can be. You have a supermarket, as a friend said to me, safe. Now, if you have safe in a building, and this is where the security training comes in, you have to have a proper safe, something that is very weighty, that you can't carry away just like that. Safes are supposed to be bolted, supposed to be fastened, either with cement or something to the ground, or bolted to the wall. So nobody should be able to just pick up a safe and carry away the safe. And as a man said to me, maybe it's not a safe, maybe it's some canister, or the man did use the word, he said maybe it's a porcelain tin. I know the younger ones know it's a porcelain tin. Porcelain tin, back in the day, you get some milk tin or so, and you cut it, and you put in your little change in that, and allow it to accumulate. When it's Christmas time or sometime, then you open it and take out your little money. But I can't imagine that a big establishment getting money. Because I think it's someone these money exchange places house in this building, and they said 2 safes carried away just like that. And it reminds me that even these companies that are what they call security companies, I don't know if they go around now and inspect the storage facility. I don't know. What's his deputy commissioner operations? That should fall under him to give directions. He would know that when I was there at a division or commander, he was the man who used to send to examine the storage, how these things are stored. All these things are stored. Not only, cash is safe, but firearms are required to be stored in a secured area. Why it's secure is something you got to go and you got to inspect. We reported here some time ago that a travel agency in Kitty, people broke into a travel agency, carrying some safe with things with automatic or semi-automatic rifles. Semi-automatic rifles, a travel agency had. And obviously they were not properly stored, they were taken away. Now, no strong box, you gotta get proper safe, because sometimes you have to, if it's a rifle or shotgun, you have to get chain that goes through the trigger guard and lock. It's something that you got to check properly to make sure that those firearms at those security company are properly secured. The question was asked of me recently by someone, what arrangements are there for these security companies to store firearms, ammunition, and any other, if they have incendiary devices? And I said, well, I don't know that a security company would have to have incendiary devices. But all of these things you got to check, and especially the fact that these security companies, many of them around the place, these things are stored in areas that are built up. Some of them in residential areas. And if you have things stored, especially incendiary devices, and something goes off, God forbid, people in the area can be in danger. We can recall some years ago on the highway, GDF Camp Grooms, big explosion with all the things that they had there. A lot of soldiers get injured and so on. So I'm saying to them that you need to make sure that these firearms and whatever else they have, ammunition and whatever else, that these things are properly stored. Let's understand it clearly. They are properly stored. We spoke about the system, how you issue and how they return. We know they're going haywire. Because when you are a member of a security company and you are a supernumerary constable authorized legally to carry a firearm, it's when you're on duty. But we understand that don't happen now. The supervisors and all them not so long ago, supervisors were held with a firearm. You need to make sure that these things are controlled. Because allegations are firearms are rented out and all of these things to people to go and commit crime. They need to make sure that those things are properly accounted for. I don't know when last they did an audit of all these security companies with all these firearms they're giving them. revolver, pistol, shotgun, assault rifles, and all these type of things you're giving them. I don't know if they have a mechanism in place to ensure that there are periodical audits of the firearm. And not only audit to make sure the firearms are there, you have to also do what we call systems audit to make sure that the system is adequate and accounts for the issuing and the return of these firearms and so on. Word Kashibo, make Benibo take notice. CC, your comment on this, please.
Yeah, I read the report, and one thing that struck me in the initial report, I don't know if it came out of the police itself, but the talk about the building was burglarized. They're talking about burglary. And we know that it was break and enter and larceny. We know that burglary is in bed, INBED, intent, nighttime, breakage, entry, dwelling house. And the burglary's got to be a dwelling house. That wasn't a dwelling house there. And the thing is, you want to know this big company there, they don't have their own cameras about the place that will alert them as in case maybe I don't know, sometimes they got to look at their own personal security too, your security apart from what you have, or I don't know if they had any security there. There's another story that if you haven't had any security there, that you have millions and millions of dollars and you have to get some kind of protective security, you on your own plus security service. But then the security service too, the you mentioned about the police. They had a unit. I know it's still in operation because that ceased for a while because it was compromised. Because the units, I understand members used to go wrong, and then they found people in the default. Jackie Opel used to come into play. You got to think by everything you're likely to have your license revoked and this kind of thing. That I think WhatsApp gotten rid of some of them people there, but I don't know if it's really operation, but according to the Private Security Act, the police supposed to have a unit there to go around and check and do the auditing and do the inspection and all these kind of things. But that unit that they had there wasn't operating in the best interests of the police force. They were operating in their own interests. So and then you're talking about safe. We don't know safe. Let me repeat. Safe supposed to be embedded. We are saying embedded in concrete, embedded in the floor, in the wall, that you can't carry no safe. No way by the time you're ready for get to the thing of the safe. Someday morning will show your time finish. And I remember the one in Kitty where they carry it safe with a whole set of weapons inside. Hypo rifle. I know hypo rifle being in a safe. It'll be a real big safe too that they carried away. So they gotta look in terms of proper security. And a man mustn't walk in a building and pick up a safe and go along away. No way, defeating the whole purpose of the thing.
Yeah, defeating the whole purpose. But before we move on, I just put up there. First of all, let me thank you, all those who have been making contributions to the upkeep of this program. And we have Zelle, we have Cash App, and now we have MMG. A lot of people in Guyana were telling us that they don't have Zelle, they don't have Cash App, but they can contribute if we have MMG. Well, we have established MMG. You can see the number there, 613-8856. So those of you who are of the who want to make a contribution, please, you can contribute Zelle, Cash App, and now this MMG. And I've said to people who use PayPal, if you contact, we're going to give you the information in respect the PayPal. Now let me move on, CC. Another deadly weekend on the roads in Guyana. Deadly. I see that I think you had 4 fatalities over the weekend. It was being reported that a man was struck and the vehicle did not stop, Mocha Public Road. That's over the weekend, struck and killed. Then yesterday it was reported that a man, Surit Singh, 25 years, killed after the car he was, or the vehicle he was traveling collided with a truck. Now I saw a short clip of it this morning. I got time to upload it. But what I saw there, the vehicle seems to have been proceeding north along the East Bank Public Road, and for some reason, the man lost control and went across into the part of the truck. And let me look what. Let me see. Do I have it here? I think I do. Hold on. Let me show you what the car ended up looking like. This is what the car ended up looking like. This is what the car ended up. And the video is there on social media. Man proceeding north. And all of a sudden, you see the car just swing across into the part of the truck. And you know, things like these now. This really, when I was a commander or traffic chief and so on, once you establish the facts, that truck man should not be in custody at all. He's made to give a statement, you brutalize him, and he is sent on bail to come back. Because you can see that the truck man is not at fault. I want to encourage you all to find this video on social media. I couldn't get it in time because I saw it just a few minutes before the program. And the man just swing across. I don't know if he lost control or if maybe it's suicide. I don't know what it is, but straight across the road into the part of the truck. And he is killed into the part of the truck. Yes, Edward, he wasn't driving fast. He was flying low. And then also, you are the next one. There's this one. And I understand this is the next one. Look, these two young men, this is last night about 11:30. Last night about 11:30 on the Land of Canaan public road. They said they were proceeding north. One of them was driving. The other one in the passenger seat proceeding north. They lost control, crashed into the rail at Land of Canaan there, and they both died. They crashed into a rail and they both died. It's madness on the road. And here was the problem here. They're going to investigate. First of all, I understand the one with the car that went across and was the truck with Singh. They're reporting that as a fatal incident. Fatal incident. That is not an accident, according to them. So I was surprised with this one last night. They're reporting that as a fatal accident. I don't know how they're classifying these things. They're trying to cook the figures. So all of a sudden, people dying on the road. Some are incident, some are accident. That is what they're saying. Yeah, Enric, I could understand. Could maybe the man had a medical emergency. The problem is that when the PM is done, these type of detailed checks and analysis are not done. So you don't know if the man suffers some medical emergency. You don't know if the man was they're gonna check the alcohol content of this deceased person. You know, chances are they're checking that. But you need to do all of that. You need to go back, as we have said, to see how they got their license. You need to go back all of the way. When did they get the license? Because these are young people. The man who we saw there in that vehicle before, they say he's 25. These two, I think they say one is 22 and one young men. When and how did they acquire the driver's license? I will tell you something. So you need to go into this thing. Don't just investigate the actual accident or the incident, as you call it, on the road. Go a little further back. When did they acquire a driver's license? Even with the vehicle. How old is the vehicle? What type of vehicle? All of these type of things. It was the vehicle certified. You have got to do something very, very detailed so you can get a picture of what is really going on in the road. And I drove on the East Bank Road recently. I was surprised because then the road broken up, so to speak, in most places. I guess it's because of all those big trucks and so on traversing there. The road is not a smooth road in most parts. It's undulating, broke up, old, they're not. That is what is going on. Did that contribute? Did the road service contribute to these accidents? Men driving fast, one. And then because of the road surface, they might have lost control. I know rain fell last night. Was it an area where you have water, where they're driving fast, going to the water, and therefore they could have been hydroplaning? All of these things you got to check out. All of these things, Mr. Traffic Chief, Mr. Robeson Ben, Mr. Extended Squatter, these are things that you have to look into in detail. We cannot continue to lose our most precious resources, the human resource, just like that. The man at Mocha, 50-something years old. The man, Surit Singh, 25. These here two are in their 20s. and you're losing them like that. And you're not doing anything much. You're gonna hear they're gonna come and they're gonna amend the Motor Vehicle and Road Traffic Act. They're gonna increase fine. They're gonna do all type of band-aid they're gonna put on this festering sore. And therefore, you're not gonna get the desired result. You're not gonna get the desired result. As they recently, you see them put up radar to tell you how fast you're going. You want to tell me I'm flying down the road at 100, 160 an hour, and he know that he's going above the speed limit? You got to get a radar to tell him that. So again, condolences to the relatives, friends, and family of these recently deceased person. But the situation, as one former traffic chief had said, the situation is chaotic. The situation is scary to drive on the roads in Ghana. Scary. Sand truck and all categories, No, in recent time, the extended squad instead of going after the truck when the place get warm and all that other nonsense he talk. But in recent times, you have a situation where all categories, whether you're a pedestrian, look at the pedestrians. You're gonna have a pedestrian crossing, they're not using it. They believe that the traffic lights is not for them. Look at bicycles. They laugh, CC, before I bring you in. The irony in this whole thing is that over the weekend I saw that the Guyana police force, listen to this, people, this is not no joke, the Guyana police force reporting they had a bicycle campaign where people were arrested for bicycle without light and bicycle without bell and all sort of thing. That is what they are. That is what is reported in the media. I don't know that bicycle without bell and light and all this stuff. Yes, there are still offenses on the book, don't get me wrong, but I don't know that the emphasis should be on that. When trucks and cars and motorcycles, have you seen these motorcycles, buses and so on, driving at breakneck speed? And let me tell you this. Let me say this before bringing CC. This one of the young men, I don't know which one, somebody sent me a post from one of the young men social media posts. I have to try to confirm. I say, is this true? What's the post? Look the post. This is one. They said one of the young men, maybe the one was the driver, I want to get drunk, have an accident on my way home, and end up in a coma for 3 months. When I wake up, I won't know anyone. There's something to say, get what you wish for, They're saying one, that's somebody sent this to me this morning, to say he pulled it off one of the deceased person's posts. Say you want to get drunk, have an accident on my way home, and end up in a coma for 3 months. When you wake up, well, this is not coma. He ain't waking up at all now. He's not going to wake up at all. And that is the attitude of some of these people driving the road. They believe that they own the road. They can drive at reckless speed without regards for other road users. Let me bring you Mr. Conway. CC, your take.
Paul, you made some interesting points which I want to add to. The normal thing is that when a driver is involved in a fatal accident, he's kept for 72 hours at least. Like you, as commander, as long as I'm convinced, as long as I'm satisfied that the driver was not involved, was not in any way, no way, form or shape contributed to that accident, we collect this statement and he go along his way and continue the investigation. But no, since in a fatal accident, whether you're at fault or not, they're putting you on arrest and giving you a 72. And another point too is that there is an opportunity now to investigate how they obtain the driver's license. They said dead men don't talk. But if you follow the system, sometimes I find out this man got other competence and there's no record that he did the theoretical exam. And this kind of thing, you could check the system and find a whole set of things that went wrong. Just like how Amro and Singh, retired senior superintendent, found out that 1,157 persons received their license illegally. They said dead men don't talk, but yes, I agree, dead men don't talk, but you could deal with the persons who had issued the license, who was responsible for issuing the license. Bicycle without bell, bicycle without brakes. I used to tell them, yeah, The me one no camp with bicycle brakes and bicycle brakes. Although the first case I made was bicycle without brakes at my coney, and I had to write over about 8 different complaints with the note. Because anytime I make a mistake, they might say, "Hey, you got to correct it. 7464 Smith, you have to correct it, and we had a magistrate. As long as you scratch your canny and you initial anything you used to throw it away, you accept it." So they need to properly analyze the stats. When last or a person's bicycle or brakes or bell contributed to an accident? Ask that question before you jump and going and going to campaign. And also put a matter too. But the bicycles are poor man's means of transportation. This is something that we gotta ride and go to work. And only though you carry the bicycle at the station, and then the police want a receipt how you obtain the bicycle and whole setting, and the bicycle left seize up there sometimes for months and this kind of thing. So they gotta be careful, and things are gotta be properly thought out, especially when you say you're going to do the campaign and campaign and campaign. But deal with the real perpetrators. Deal with the persons who finger in the commission of offense. I just bicycle don't like them bicycle don't break. And thing in the past. And we saying investigate how the persons get the license, and then you see how the whole system is corrupt. Then you see the corruption that is taking place, and then you have to deal with the corruption. Otherwise, you're wasting. And I'm also saying that the drivers, as long as the driver is not in any way, form, or shape contributed to the accident, let the man go along his way and continue the investigation. But no, you got to get a 72, and you got holy till you have a post-mortem report and all kind of nonsense.
Yeah, that is why. I mean, it's unfair. Yes, in some cases, you might establish that the driver is contributed to the fatal accident. Yeah, then you gotta keep him in custody. But in this one that I saw there, that tape that I saw, that video that I saw, this car proceeding what seemed to be at a fast rate going north and just turn across into the lane of this truck that coming out. There's absolutely nothing the truck man could have done. I don't know what speed he was going at, the truck. But even if he going at 30, 40 within the speed limit, very little he could have done to avoid that accident. That is what is going on. Now, let me move on. We say Calvin Brutus, Assistant Commissioner, Attorney at Law, is a gift that keeps giving. Is a gift that keeps giving. Let me show you. Let me see. I think I get it here, and then we're going to talk about it. Calvin Brutus did make a comment or make a complaint that he's been surveilled, he's been followed by Ransom Special Branch. So what happened? Let me show you all the last tape that he posted on social media. It's not long, just a 1 3/4 minute. Look, and then we're gonna analyze it at the back end. Here we go.
A few moments ago, I got to drive off just to see what would be the reaction. They moved. I applied my brakes, and they did the same. So we go again. Right. So they're following. So I'm gonna turn the street just now, and we'll see what they will do. Just random. So this is unplanned. I can just turn here and go through this street. Right, so see, they're following here now. You see, so I stopped here. I'm gonna go and confront them because they're obviously they're following me. So let's find out the reason. So let's see out here. Yeah, man. No, stop following me, Premier Ryan. You stop following me. You understand what I'm saying?
I have no interest in
Stop
following you.
following me.
I
You
see
follow
you
me.
videoing me. I
Stop
start following
following me.
because I see you videoing me.
Then you stop
I
following me.
know
Good.
that's why I call the police to intercept the vehicle.
What you just saw there is Brutus alleging that he's been followed by special branch ranks. Right? Now, this is not the first time he's saying this. We've been saying it for some time now, that they're following him around. You remember when he went to let him, he said they're following you and all of that. Now, the story is, the question I want to ask, that person that you saw there is the head of special branch, Superintendent Prem Narayan. So the question is, why would the head of special branch be following Calvin Brutus, Assistant Commissioner of Police, who is facing, well, let's say it's not 252 now, 261 criminal charges? Why would he be following him? And the excuse, he said, well, you have following me, but you see somebody videoing him, so you want to know who video. What happened with somebody videoing you? All over this place you walk now, people videoing people. You get to the ridiculous stage in Guyana where a man can be dying, get into some accident, and he dying or he drowned in. And before people run for rescue, it's out goes the phone and they're recording. So if it is that he has been recording, what is wrong with that? So he is the head of special branch. And let me say this. The fact that the head of special branch, Prem Narayan himself, is following Brutus and given Prem Narayan's reputation, Brutus has to be extremely, extremely careful. I'm not a fan of Brutus. People meet him and say, you're giving Brutus ammunition to fight them, and you're guiding Brutus and you're advising. No. That's not the intention. We deal with rule of law. We deal with obedience to the Constitution. I am saying that the fact that this man, head of special branch, County Brutus, is trailing him himself. You don't get no junior rank following Brutus. A very clumsy effort to follow Brutus. Given his reputation, Calvin Brutus has to be extremely, extremely careful and attacking in respect of his safety. And further, I say not. They say, interbeniba, make Kwashiba take notice. Prem Narayan, following Brutus, that's what Brutus is claiming. And we saw the video there ourselves, that Prem Narayan following me, and he confront Prem Narayan, and Prem Narayan said what he had to say, Brutus said what he had to say. Then we bring Mr. Conway to say what he has to say. See, head of special branch himself, following Brutus around, according to Brutus, and according to what he claims in this video. What is your take on that?
Well, Brutus said on several occasions that they follow him. Even when if he get into the mark anyway, going to follow him. Even people dressed as disguised as taxi drivers, follow him, monitor him. We knew what took place at Latam. And when you backtrack a bit, remember the head of the special branch, Errol Watts, was in a big protest on the East Coast there. The head of special branch was supposed to be doing undercover work. He was supposed to be in deep cover. In some country, you don't even know who is the head of special branch. And there's it, they're exposing themselves. What is if Brutus is monitoring him, videoing him? What wrong with that? What's wrong with that? We see police in action, police getting beaten up, and another police instead of going to assistance, they're videoing. It's ridiculous because we're the head of the special branch and go down to that level. Go down to that level. And why you tracing Brutus? For what reason you tracing Brutus? Is Brutus a threat to the state? He's before the court. He's on bail. They ban him from leaving the country. If you want to try and go away, no? You gotta put systems in place. But wanna be videoing and checking pum Brutus. On of and coming from the head of the special branch. And then, as you mentioned, Brutus has got to be careful because Premnorine is a marksman and he's hit the target with deadly accuracy, and he's play on several ranges. He get a reputation, he play on several ranges. I repeat, he's a marksman. He'll hit the target with deadly accuracy, and he plays on several ranges. Brutus is not my friend. As far as concerned, Brutus is very, very wicked. He's not my friend. But he's got to be careful. He's got to be careful. And more so when things coming from the head of the special branch, who is a marksman and a repeating, and who would hit the target with deadly accuracy, and who plays on several ranges: long range, medium range, short range. Paul, you know more ranges than I am.
Yeah, I know a lot about ranges as a marksman myself. Not the I shoot at these paper targets on the range. Marksman, I was fortunate to represent Guyana on several occasions. I even represented the West Indies. So I know something about shooting. As I have said repeatedly on this program, I used to be a firearms instructor. And you know, when it comes to marksmanship, once you reach certain levels, certain skills, you can't use it. So I used to challenge them, you know, as old as they say I am. They say you're geriatric. I used to say, let me go in the range. Let's go in the range and see if you could better me. And I used to cut the tail every time. I used to cut the tail every time, because when you get the skill, you get the skill. You don't lose it like that. And let me tell you something about educating about shooting. That is one sport, perhaps the only sport, where they get difference between genders, you know. So women, and I'm talking about rifle shooting, full bore rifle shooting. Women and men compete in the same competition. You don't get women, female competition and men competition. And let me tell you something, buddy. I have shot in England at basically on a few occasions, even in the West Indies where women take part. And you get your tail cut. Them little schoolgirl in England, they're well trained and well skilled, well equipped. You don't want to draw, because most time you shoot in pairs and so on. You want to draw them. Sometimes it's a motivation, because you know you get them the, hey, I am this little girl and beating me. Well, sometimes you cut your tail. They're very skillful. So yeah, I know something about shooting. Not the type that CC just described. Not that type. But again, I say, the fact that the head of special branch is accused of following Brutus around, Brutus got to be extremely careful. The role of special branch has changed, I think. We had the Quindon Bacchus murder on the east coast of Demerara, 2022, I think it was, June. Special branch ranks were involved. They claim that this man, the deceased, Quindon Bacchus, was offering them some unlicensed firearm, offered to sell them a gun. And as we said then, and we have said repeatedly, even if the special branch ranks were there to set up the thing, the execution is done by CID and uniform ranks, because you don't want the special branch rank doing the execution, because at some stage you got to go in the court to get evidence. I don't want them to be exposed, but not so now. Then we had the shooting on the East Bank, where 88 bullets were fired at the police traffic sergeant. Special branch ranks again, under what? Say what? Under what? What will not deputy commissioner? What? And let me tell you what happened there. After they fired the rounds, they said they fired 88 rounds and they missed. They knocked the car, they knocked the target. The sergeant jumped in the vehicle. The sergeant hightailed it to Providence police station, and he was identified as a police sergeant. They shoot up at this man. So I don't know what they're shooting. Maybe they're shooting blanks, right? But could not be totally blank, because they killed Quindon Bacchus. 88 bullets, they said, they fire. And here what happened? This is an update on that I got. The ranks were all transferred to police headquarters, right? The file went to the Director of Public Prosecution. The matter was investigated by Office of Professional Responsibility, OPR. File went to DPP. DPP recommended charges, I think, against the 5 ranks. Right? One of the ranks, it is alleged that one of the ranks against whom charges was recommended used to drive or was driver. Was intervened and bullied the investigator and them to not charge his driver, even though the DPP advised that I should be charged. Was intervened and bullied. And folks, you would not believe this, but this is true. Last week, the extended squatter promoted 26, I understand about 26 people. That same man who is Watts driver, who should be charged with this 88 wrong shooting, the man promoted to corporal, you know. The man promoted to corporal. You think it's easy for some of the ranks in the police force? Why you believe they are so demoralized? This is a man who involved in an incident, and the DPP, having reviewed, said, look, it's not criminal, departmental charges against them. Watts, Deputy Commissioner Errol Watts, is alleged to have bullied the man who was assigned to do the investigation, because the man sent for the driver to initiate the process as directed or as recommended by the DPP and as approved by the commissioner. Watts decided this man is he by and he mustn't get charged. And I understand up to now, nothing happened to the matter. Where the DPP, and I told you all before, you know, when I was at the chairman of the Police Service Commission, I did a survey and discovered that the majority of the charges, they tell it OPR investigating, file goes to the DPP for legal advice, the DPP advised disciplinary action, nothing will happen. I dare them, I challenge them to dispute that. I checked it myself, nothing will happen. Nothing happens. So this is a file, if you all want, I could check it, where the DPP recommended that these people who fire up at the policeman, they should be charged departmentally. Watts intervened, Deputy Commissioner Watts. He has a propensity to intervene. We're going to talk about another intervention in a short while. Bullying the investigating rank, who the man was assigned to investigate this matter. You don't want this man charged because the man is a driver or something like that. And last week, the extended squatter, it is alleged that the extended squatter promoted, I think, about 20-something people. Right? So they get promotion board and all them thing now. Promoted 20-something people, including this man, who is supposed to be charged departmentally with this matter. And I guess you have other ranks who are made to suffer because they are not favorites. They're not friends, they're not family, they're not favorites. That is what is going on in the police force. That is what is being encouraged. Because if you put the extended squatter there who don't know his ace from his ass, anything can happen. He went to Linden, promote people on the spot. They're making no promotion. The police service, the illegal police service commission, feel they have the authority to establish a tribal union, not a tribunal, county the sergeant. We're going to deal with it just now. They establish a tribal, even though they are not fully constituted. But if you feel that you're fully constituted and you have the power of the Constitution behind you, why you aren't promoting these people since 2022, the last promotion made, July 2022? You have people retiring and all of that, can't benefit from deserved promotion. So therefore, the superannuation benefits are going to be affected. That is what you have happening. And you want to know why people are demoralized? That is the reason, that's part of the reason they are demoralized. Some people can do whatever they want to do and get rid of it. Because they get people like Watts going to intervene on their behalf, and the squatter and them and promote people. I don't know if they went through the process to make sure that the people then get charged. Well, getting charged now is not an issue. It's not an issue. So you can have investigation going on. You can get a whole ton of charge sheet. Once you're a favorite, you're going to get promoted. Let me bring in Mr. Conway to make his comments, and then we're going to move on to this tribunal thing. CC, your views.
Yeah, and not only charging, people get charges. Passing promotion exam is no longer a requirement. You don't have to pass no promotion exam, And the squatter the conform squatter, let me give you the full thing, The conform squatter just going by the place promoting people. I remember the last time we checked, they were overstaffed by over 70 something sergeants. And I want to know what the Ministry of Finance is doing, because as I know it, when you apply for your payroll, you have to state what's the establishment and how many persons you catering for. If the establishment shows 75 sergeant and I get 110, somebody gotta ask a question: how come we catering for 110? And that's what going on. So it's not only the squatter, but other people where the checks and balances supposed to be there, they're not there. So they're promoting left, right, and center persons not passing the exam, persons with disciplinary matters, and all of them be promoted. How long you let me walk by? So 7 years. I will take a 2 stripe. And then, how long you're corporal? So 5 years now. We promoted to sergeant. Them there is how the thing going on.
Yeah. You know what? I love my students. You know, I love my students. One of my students right there, he said, these 2 tutors, they refer to the 2 of us with no pay. We're not getting pay, and he asking them to kindly offer some contribution. Thanks. Well, you know, my brother, you gotta lead the way too. You know, you gotta lead the way. You gotta offer the contribution as well. Now, let me say this. Following up with this commissioner in Trinidad and Tobago, I just got word out to Trinidad that they are preparing for a press conference. Right? The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service will be live in a press conference in a short while. So those of you who want to follow up what's going on there, you can also follow up. Now, before I go off of Brutus wrote something recently. Let me read it quickly, because I want to make a comment. He said, if the state is so interested in having me pay for the alleged malpractices they claim I have committed, and they are confident of achieving successful prosecution or persecution in relation to the more than 200 charges against me, why are they not allowing the trial of those charges or these matters to start? Why is SOCU stalling the process? Why at every court date is another excuse for why they are unable to proceed? At any rate, they started the circus. At the rate they started the circus, one would have believed that they had all they needed to get this over with or over and done with. I will tell you why they have not started and why they are afraid to proceed. They have nothing. All of this was done to frustrate me, force me into retiring from the Ghana Police Force, and to facilitate superseding me at the recent promotions of deputy commissioners. Stop it right there. Let me tell you, stop it right there. Because I got to confront Brutus with this. They're not superseding, right? Brutus manipulated the system. And the Dunson people at the Police Service Commission, when they sent back the list, that was in 2022 July, his name was at the top of the list of assistant commissioners. And he assumed, because he claimed that the Police Service Commission gave him seniority over the other assistant commissioners, over the other people who were promoted to assistant commissioner. Nonsense. As Nyland Welch would say, nonsenseness. Cannot happen. There's no provision in the public service rule, in the police standing order, nothing. If they wanted to give you seniority above them, they can promote you ahead of them. But once you have the same rank, I said this before, once you have the same rank and you are all promoted together, the seniority in the previous rank moves on. And when they promoted people in 2022, the senior assistant commissioners, Ryston Andrews Jr., who they charged with us because they wanted to get rid of, and the same Brutus and them involved in it. Case dismissed in December 2023. Can't reinstate it yet. He was the most senior assistant commissioner, followed by Simon McBean, followed by Budram, followed by Watts, followed by the man at CID, Blanham, then Brutus. Brutus was number 5 or so on the seniority list. And then he telling people how the Police Service Commission gave him seniority over all those people. Cannot happen. Cannot. And then, of course, with this jackass parade up in December, all the seniority gone through the window because the president promoted all the 5 deputy commissioners from the 19th, effective from the 19th of December 2024. So those seniority exists now at that level. The squad is the 19th. The all 4 deputy commissioners are the 19th. So I don't know if they're going to work out the seniority. When the Constitution of Guyana tells you how the seniority should work, it tells you, well, you get people who don't read the dunce, and that is the problem. So I have to let Brutus know, right, that he is senior over nobody. He wasn't senior over those people. The only body who got promoted there that he was senior over is Karim Bash. He was senior to Karim Bash. That's the only body he was senior to. All the others, Budram, McBean, Watts, Blanham were all senior to him. They were all senior to him. So when he come and he talking this nonsense about seniority, right? And there you're talking about the seniority and all of that. What about the other issues? You sit down there and you did a lot of harm and wrong to people. As I've said, I'm no fan of Brutus. I'm no fan. He did a lot of wicked things, and he must suffer for his wickedness. He must suffer for his wickedness. Now let me move on to the other matter. CC, I don't know if you want to make a comment on that, what I just said.
You correct, Paul. And let me read part. I like read the Constitution, Article 6, Article 211.6, and if the bottom bar says, providing that there may be more than one office of Deputy Commissioner of Police, and that if there are more than one such office, the whole thereof shall rank among themselves according to the dates of their respective appointment. You rank according to the date of your respective appointment. Full stop. You're done there.
That is what the Constitution says. So I don't know. He commented about the Police Service Commission gave him seniority over. Cannot. I was the chairman of the Police Service Commission, and my knowledge and they know because they just read and research and get the thing going right. So come and tell me what they gave him seniority over these people. Well, you get seniority, you could get, if you want seniority, you get all the way to Camp Street or Lusignan. When you go there, you can be the senior man because I don't think they get anybody with rank like you who can go to prison. So when you go to prison, if and when you go to prison, you will be the most senior man in the prison system. You're already the most senior man ever get all them charges. You get the most charges, 261. You get the most bank account. You get the most money. You get the most everything. You might very well get the most jail time. So you better be careful. You better be careful. You did so much wrong to so many people that people don't sympathize with you. Now let me come on to this this tribunal that they set up. First of all, again, I might sound a little contradictory. I agree with Brutus not to participate in that farce of a tribunal. Because, as I've said before, there is only one aim of that tribunal. One, for dismiss Brutus. So regardless whether he participates or not, at the end of the tribunal, or as the sergeant call it, the tribal union, he is going to be dismissed. So very soon we're going to be up to say on this program, former Assistant Commissioner Calvin Brutus. I am convinced that the purpose of that tribal union is to dismiss him. Right? That's the purpose. Now let me understand what I mean now. Why we call it tribal union. Last week we saw the video, it was a long tape. That thing did an interview with a sergeant from the police. She was at the quartermaster stores. Then, having regards to all that took place there, allegations against Brutus that he did all this other thing, she transferred to the sports secretariat. Right? She claimed that she was on a course at the training, at the academy, as they call it, and well, she got off duty. She left to go and see her mother somewhere on the Linden Suzaik Highway, somewhere there. She was well into the journey when she realized that there were several missed calls, 13, 14 missed calls, and then Colin Boyce, you know the man who did genuflecting to the president? Colin Boyce, who's your boss, because he's the man in charge of sport, called her to tell her that she was required to see Errol Watts, Deputy Commissioner, immediately. She said, well, I'm going to see my mother. She said, well, you must turn back now and come. So she turned back. Disciplined person, she turned back. And she came to police headquarters. She said she went to the sport club where she saw calling boys. The tape is there, so you have to go and make sure I get it right. And then she was taken to a car. And the driver of that car, she even described the Mark X, Toyota Mark X. The driver of that car was none other than Deputy Commissioner Errol Watts, the man in charge of operations. She entered the car because she said she felt he was taking her to his office. But if you all know Joshua, like me, I know that he's very good. I lived in there for years. So they were in Barrack Street, traveling west towards Parade Street. She said she expected him to turn right or north to go to his office. But instead, he turned left or south and was taking her to a destination that she did not know. She sat in the back with Colin Boyce. Watts then told her, you know, me and you good, and all them type of talk, small talk, me and you are right and so on. The next thing you know, she was taken to a building in Middle Street. And when she entered the building, is to discover they were taking her to give evidence against Brutus in the tribal union. That's what she said, in the tribal union. She went there and she said, and we talked about it before, you know, I think they said that the oath was administered to her, and then she tell them she had no why she did, because nobody told her, and she hadn't given no evidence, and she think and she make nice, and they sent her away. She went on the thing the night, Friday night I think it was, or Saturday night, can't remember which one, and she gave an interview. An interview lasted for about half an hour, outlining, well, she did all the talking, or most of the talking, exactly what transpired. And there's also a recording going around where it would appear that the same sergeant was at the training facilities when Watts turned up there and wanted her to go to this tribunal, and she made some nice, and she said, well, they should have summoned she and so on. And Deputy Commissioner Watts apparently don't know that there's a provision for persons to be summoned, including police. If you are going to go to a tribunal, no message should be summoned by the tribunal, because if it's a legal tribunal, then they would have the power and authority to summon witnesses, to go to give evidence, to produce documents, and all of those type of things. But they ended up, they're sending messages. And here the kicker, to me, the kicker. Because she said, well, look, I need my lawyer. I need to speak to my lawyer and so on. What's that shit? His own voice, you know, this is not alleged stuff said. This is his voice, because apparently she recorded it. That there's no provision in the Police Discipline Act to have a lawyer at an inquiry. I wish Watts would have told that to this tribunal that's going on. Because in the letter, in the release they gave, they said that Brutus was free to work with counsel, lawyer, to be there for the duration of the trial. And we told you that is contrary to the Police Discipline Act. It makes provision for a defaulter to have a friend of the defaulter. And at Brutus' rank, the only body can assist him with his trial is another assistant commissioner. It's a law. Isn't making this up. It's 1701. The Police Discipline Act, chapter 1701. But what's know that the sergeant can't get lawyer. But the commissioner know that Brutus can't get lawyer. They have charged him under section 4Z of the Act, right? But they're not using the other provisions of the Act, how to investigate, how to conduct trial. They're not doing that. And as we said before it began, Mr. Conway, they said too that Kantoshi, they administer oath. Now, I don't know that they were sworn in. Maybe since we spoke and so on, there was the run and swearing themselves. Because all the members of the tribunal, of any tribunal, should be made to take the oath. Because that's the only way they can administer the oath. And as we said, when you talk about the Police Discipline Act, the Act provides that if a person gives false evidence under oath, they can be charged under the Criminal Law Offences Act, Chapter 81 for perjury. So how you gonna do that if you don't get oath, if you never took the oath? But as I've said, they're gonna go through all of that. They're gonna go through the monkey show. At the end, they're gonna dismiss Brutus because that is what they were set up to do. And before bringing Mr. Conway, when they dismiss him, Brutus has shown he gonna go to court. And I believe once he goes to court, he gonna win. He gonna win them. He gonna take long. Because the man that Joseph from Carmichael Street got appeal and appeal all the way maybe to the CCJ. And Brutus can prevail. Right? Because this whole thing is illegal, unconstitutional. He's gonna prevail. But all they could do is award the damages. They can't force the police force, the commissioner, or them to take it back in the force. So we understand that. So once they say dismiss, it's done, he goose cook, he done. So all them power used to wheel and so on, discriminate against people and do all sort of thing. Your time, it came already, but more coming your way, Mr. Calvin Brutus. Let me bring in Mr. Conway. CC, your take on that. The tribal union.
Perhaps is the correct word to use, tribal union and not tribunal, because as we all know it is illegal, it is unconstitutional. Article 212.2 gives, and we said it before, but we're going to repeat it for the sake of emphasis, gives the commission, the Police Service Commission, the authority to delegate matters in terms of disciplinary control, and to delegate to the commissioner and any other policeman or woman. It then give them permission, it then give them approval to delegate to civilian. And then lo and behold, the charging under the Police Discipline Act. And if you charge under the Police Discipline Act, is only police could conduct it. And they gotta be rank for conduct the investigation. It gotta be a rank higher than the rank who's alleged to have committed the offense. So if it's Brutus is assistant commissioner, he gotta be deputy commissioner. You gotta get Watts, you gotta get Boudreaux, activate them, you gotta get Karamash and them and the others. Or you gotta get 1 out of the 5 to do the investigation. And as you mentioned to Ball, that if you're gonna conduct a tribunal, you've got to be sworn. You got to be sworn to administer oath. We, the members of the Police Service Commission, when I was a member there, the president swore us as members of the Police Service Commission, but we have to go in front of magistrate so that we can take the oath in front of magistrate so that we could administer oath. Is there an attacking law? I ain't talking wild thing. And there is it, the conduct of Errol Watts, a deputy commissioner, boarding within the ambit of abduction, collect the sergeant, driving the vehicle itself, carry a hand over there against her will. I know if the tribunal is doing this business, they would summon people, and the summons got to be served on somebody, either personally or leaving it at the last and most usual place of abode with somebody of discriminate age, having read and explained the nature of the document and requested an early delivery. Is not no thing here what saying as long as I see you, I ain't gonna summons you. Nonsense. Coming from a deputy commissioner. And here is it. He involved with how he come down to that level. And big cross-talking recorded between he and the sergeant, cross-talking with a woman 8 ranks below him. What kind of nonsense, what kind of indiscipline is that? Yeah? The thing is that if for the tribal union to conduct its investigation, yes, they gotta get people to assist them like administrators to make sure that someone's or solve on this kind of thing. But that deputy commissioner playing a role. Doesn't little boy work. Let me the sergeant work. Let me the corporal work. Not that deputy commissioner. And there's what's playing a major role in this thing. A major role that he collecting people and carry them and dump them, abduct them and dump them there to the people for the thing to be for the thing. And I'm saying it is illegal. And what shouldn't be part of no illegality shouldn't be part of it. If it's illegal, you shouldn't be no part of it. And here he said that he get orders. If the order is illegal, if the order is unconstitutional, you don't have to obey it. No way. We remember the Nuremberg Tribunal, where they saying that even the general gives a constable an order, gives a private an order, and the order is illegal, he's not bound to obey it. So I don't know what's getting involved in illegal activities. That tribunal with Silal Prasad and all of them, it is unconstitutional, it is illegal. We want to go back to the High Court again. Remember the Chief Justice rule when they had 4 members and she said not fully and legally constituted, and they cannot perform any functions of the commission, can't perform any. And here's it, we have 4. They had 5 and 1 die. And the one from Carmichael Street does the start, but with quorum, you have to get all 5, then before you can get a quorum. And a quorum involves the chairman and 2 other persons. There's a quorum. So all they're doing there is illegal, and a lie illegal. We say fraud is fraud. Robbery is robbery. Then like how the police analyzing again, robbery under arms, robbery with aggravation, robbery where firearms are used, robbery where other instruments are used, and robbery. Robbery is robbery. Fraud is fraud. Illegal is illegal, and when you're illegal and you try your illegal best, you are still illegal. But I'm surprised that up to now, nobody has moved to the court and say, hey, put an injunction upon them. Stop the nonsense. Stop the illegal thing that is going on. Stop the unconstitutional thing that is going on. That, I don't know what's going on. But I repeat to myself, and I'm going to repeat myself, that tribunal or that tribal union, before tribal union, is illegal, is unconstitutional, and they ain't getting no authority to administer no oath. Perhaps, as you said, Paul, they might come back and say the person was swearing, they might swear them secretly, like what they do nothing. They say he swear Janet Jagan, and Larry Lewis, the commissioner, said that he was present. So I might hear that they had sworn them, all it is illegal, and that the confirmed squatter might say he was present at the swearing ceremony.
Yes,
Illegal.
and the update to that matter, I should have, with the sergeant, I understand that on Saturday she was called to, you guess it, OPR, Office of Professional Responsibility, where she was served with a breach of discipline notice for basically the essence is that she communicated with Big Smith Newswatch without necessary permission, so they get you charge sheet. So again, the bar can tell you, they're gonna get you a cowboy, they're gonna maybe take off some stripe, or perhaps even worse. That is what is going on in the system. That is what is going on. See your closing remarks.
Okay. I still making me appeal for those Amerindian police who have to pay $7,000 to purchase boots to perform their duties from a police corporal station at the Larry. I hope by Mashomani, and they hoping that by Christmas time they will get a thing, but hoping by Mashomani they get this stuff. And one other thing too that is circulating now, missing person. Get reports, persons are going to station, report persons missing, and the police telling them they got to come back within 48 hours, they got to come back within 24 hours. My training is that if you get a report of missing person, you have to accept the report. You have to circulate all station messages. The whole sort of thing. You gotta treat missing person as murder until proven otherwise. I repeat, treat it as murder until proven otherwise. But they tell him 48 hours, come back in 24 hours.
Other than subject for us to discuss, so maybe the next program we're going to go into it in a little more detail to inform these policemen. Folks, I have, for some time now, I had a tape that I want to show. I'm going to show you it because I think it's very, very important, a video. We're talking here about corruption, not the usual therapy, but let me run this one. This is about 4 minutes, so we're going to shoot well within time. Here goes.
Corruption is a vile disease that sucks and drains the health out of something good. Corruption in society is an evil moral infection that keeps community in a state of perpetual sickness. Corruption is a moral virus. It's so potent it leaves its host sick, lethargic, and unable to realize and accomplish all that a well person can. Where corruption thrives, poverty and not prosperity thrives. Wealth is grabbed into the greedy, grubby hands of those who get fat on the toil and labor of good people. Corruption benefits, only temporarily, those who participate in it. Everyone else is a victim of the theft, the deceit, the dishonesty, and the lies that corruption feeds on. You need to know that a corrupt person is stealing from you. Corruption is filthy work and despicable acts of treachery done under the table and behind closed doors. Corruption is a disgusting shame. Corruption keeps a nation back from true development and from progress. Wise investors steer clear of a corrupt environment. They would rather put their resources into a place where the playing field of opportunity is equal for all and not bent towards feeding the financial lust of corrupt, lying, cheating, thieving politicians and government officials. How many wonderful development projects have been lost because the investors didn't want to do business in a swamp of evil? When those great projects go to another nation or to some other place, we all lose. Believe me when I tell you that corruption steals from you, it steals from all of us. Corruption plunders the nation's wealth. Corruption people compromise on truth, equity, and fairness, choosing instead to feed off the short-term benefits of crookedness, exploitation, and financial perversion. Corruption is not just a personal matter, it's a culture. It's a way of life, not just for individual people, but for companies, communities, governments, and nations. Corrupt nations, hiding behind large companies, will seek to invest in other weak nations in order to take over the assets of the nation that they've invested into. They will provide financial loans to a nation for the much needed infrastructure, and they will do it with assets that they provide. They will sign contracts by lining the pockets of rotten government officials who participate in this kind of corruption and are then held hostage by their own deceit and greed. Corruption is nothing less than a form of theft and national robbery. A corrupt person steals from everyone in society. We all lose when corruption is rampant. Those who participate in corruption have chosen evil over good, lies over truth, and personal gain over well-being of all. To be corrupt means to be rotten. When meat is corrupt, it's rotten, and it stinks. Rotten meat can't be eaten. When a person is corrupt, he's rotten and unfit for a place in the community. A corrupt person should be jailed in order to protect society from the vile deeds of the corrupt person. Government should be protecting us from the foul results of corruption instead of being the proponents and participants in corruption. When corruption is systemic, when it's a culture and a way of life, when corruption thrives, it destroys the health of the community and nation. Now let me tell you something. Defeating corruption is a very difficult thing. The love of money is the root of all evil, the Bible says. People who love money will do almost anything to get it. Those who choose to stand up against corruption, you need to know that we're going to be involved in a war. We will be threatened, vilified, intimidated, marginalized, and ridiculed. These kind of people who stand up against corruption will often feel alone, as if they are the problem instead of the solution. Corruption can only be defeated when enough people have had enough and decide to do something about it.
I hope you listen to that. I intend to repeat that little tape as often as we can. Corruption. This program is about speaking out, exposing corruption, incompetence. And I'm sure when you listen to what that gentleman said, you can understand why it is important that all of us stand up and speak out against corruption. All of us, because it affects every single person. Now, your therapy.
Sit there and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Jurong?
Su? Oh, Su? My relationship? Nothing. He's a tenant in my place, yeah.
And he's a good friend of yours?
Yes, yes, he is a friend of ours.
He claims
Corruption, you hear the story, corruption, and the allegation is being made, and the name Su Jurong mentioned is about corruption. Su Jurong has alleged to have claimed, he's made an alleged allegation that the vice president takes $500,000 US dollars from Chinese businessmen to facilitate contracts and all that. Never investigated, never. And so when you hear about corruption, again, that is why we all have to stand up against corruption. Folks, we've had a long morning, a good morning. Thanks for your attendance. Again, Zelle is there, Cash App is there. MMG, we now have an MMG account for those in Guyana who have been pestering us to make sure that we get an MMG account. Give your contribution so that we can continue to bring research and bring the credible, valuable information to you. We have had a good long morning, and what do? We meet next. We are scheduled to meet next on Wednesday, God's willing, and all being well, we're going to see you again on Wednesday on another episode. In the meanwhile, as we have constantly been doing, we ask you to be safe. Again, 4 lives lost on the roads over the weekend. Many people, man, kill his wife, and drink poison, all sorts of things. It's a stressful time in this country, and you need to be safe and protect yourself at all times. So until we meet again, stay well. Bye.